I think one of my own growths is AI readiness actually is grounded in a lot of the stuff that we've already been teaching in schools, or at least the stuff that we've talked about wanting to be teaching in schools. So like, first of all, durable skills, none of that is new. Maybe they were called 21st century skills or durable skills or social emotional skills or digital literacy, media literacy. So a lot of it is just sort of like remixing that and like sort of layering in the AI context. And then, core subjects like math, English, science, social studies, I think teachers in those subjects are asking themselves the question of, is English language arts relevant now that AI can write? It's not as good at math, so I think math teachers maybe have a little bit more time before they're filling that. What you were describing is, no, actually, English is more important than ever because there's all these underlying skills that you also build in English, the ability to like form an argument and sort of advocate for that argument, the ability to, structure your thoughts and to, whether it's an essay or, other written, writing products. Are teachers surprised by that? I mean, like, do you find that teachers are often coming and assuming that what they need to learn is maybe more transformative than what we actually are prescribing?
Yeah, I mean, it is sort of like, oh, wait a minute. Critical thinking is not something we just came up with that we thought would be a good idea. It's more like it's sort of more important than ever. Imagine coming to an essay and not being able to critically evaluate whether it's high quality. So that really puts you at a disadvantage because now, although AI can write a great critical essay, you need even more so those skills of thinking, analysis, understanding, that we've always wanted to build in literacy. We've always wanted to build in math. I mean, the math practice standards already articulate a lot of those kind of durable problem solving, persistence through proactive struggle type of skills. Those are critical in the age of AI and approaching AI. So I think teachers are kind of relieved, like, oh, wait, maybe this puts just more emphasis on some of those things that we've thought are the right things to teach. And still, I'd say like we don't fully know. Like, I don't think anyone has a completely developed vision for what it looks like in the literacy classroom of the future to have AI tools to teach writing and critical analysis, to be strong readers. Nobody has yet the full vision of what that could look like in order to be the most relevant and the most prepared students for the future. So that's we all need to evolve. Like as an education community, that's the kind of thinking and problem solving we need to do together. But be open to, it's not sort of black and white. It's not, oh, well, AI can write now, so we don't need to teach writing, or, AI can research, so we don't need to teach research skills. I think that's far too simplistic.
I think one of the most fundamental questions that everybody is probably asking, or maybe you don't realize that you're asking it deep down, which is it feels wrong to over rely on the AI. Like when you use AI to write something, and the example that one of our advisors, Michelle Culver, I think really poignantly uses, like, if someone writes a birthday message for you and sends you this like really long, very kind, thoughtful birthday message, and that was written by AI, how does that make you feel? And most people, I think, respond to like, it's like, doesn't feel as personal. But then there's even more maybe fundamental things about, am I going to lose my craft, my ability to write effectively if I'm over relying and sort of like developing this almost like crutch? Khushali, I'm curious how like the learning team has encountered this, because a lot of folks ask me like, oh, are you just using AI to write all of your curriculum now? And I'm pretty sure the answer is like, it could write stuff that looks like curriculum, but I mean, has it just replaced the way we go about creating curriculum? And
no, not at all, because this is part of, what Emma was talking about, how we're innovating within our team is thinking about where can we actually use AI effectively, and how do we do that? And initial drafts from any AI tool we've used for any curriculum have been terrible. Like, they're not good because it's just the initial draft, right? And it doesn't understand the full you can't get the full context and the nuances that you need in the design. But with a lot of our expertise, we can craft like, here are the things that we want to focus on. Here are some of the strategies, instructional strategies we want to make sure are captured in curriculum. And here's how we would want to format the timing. Like these are things that require our designers to understand and know well, because that is not something that an AI tool is going to generate on its own. And so, but there's really, really great tools that have kind of helped us be able to synthesize a lot of like headlines from major high quality instructional material curricula of what are like the key concepts. And if we read the curriculum, do we agree with that? And if that's the case, then what does that mean for what we can build towards? And so I think there's a lot of capacity for us to like keep increasing what we're producing, but it requires so much thinking and review and scrapping lots of things, which at the end of the day, quite frankly, if we just sat down and designed ourselves the old-fashioned way, we'd do it a lot faster, right? Because we have these skills kind of embedded into the work that we do already. But it's actually thinking about how do you create tools or use tools in ways that could then accelerate the work later for you, which requires deep expertise in the build and the way in which you interact with it and how you're reviewing any of the outputs that come out of it. And so I think any teacher will say the same thing. You put in a request for a lesson plan from, ChatGPT. It'll look fine. And to somebody who doesn't know good teaching or doesn't know the standards, they'll be like, oh, yeah, that seems maybe plausible. But then you get into it and you're like, this is not aligned to a standard. There is no like learning outcome at the end of this. The practice is generic and not aligned. And I have nothing to do with any of my students that need any supports. And so that I think is what I keep coming back to, where it's just, when you have the expertise, you're able to have that critical eye. And how do you keep honing that as the tools evolve and you're able to do more with them as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think every teacher's had the experience of Googling, like, I need a lesson plan on this thing, and like 50 hits pop up. Now it's just that there's that's so fast, much faster, and there's so much more access to that. But teachers have that critical eye. They've always been able to go look at those and be like, well, that's not going to work. And like, that's sort of half a lesson plan. So that's not a good like use of AI necessarily. It's, what, or at least what do you need to feed it? What context, what thinking? And I do think like as the models get better with their memory, with their collection of information, that will evolve too. And so we might be saying something different down the road. But I think right now, the only reason we're able to look at something a tool spits out and say, well, that actually isn't aligned to the standard is because we have that knowledge and expertise ourselves.
Yeah, because people ask me like, oh, like, have you changed the way that you hire? Are you looking for people that are basically AI experts or AI power users? And I mean, I think across the board, the answer is no. It's like you actually... the top priority is someone that really understands what good looks like what is a good lesson plan.